Anyone else just exhausted by the election? I feel like it's an endless cycle of debates, rallies, ads, finger pointing, and honestly, it feels more like a never-ending reality show than a democracy or a democratic process. It's like we're constantly tuning into some drama with just new faces, slogans, name calling, all of that. It's very exhausting. Makes me not even want to deal with politics, and I usually don't. But this presidential primaries, which should be dignified and competitive and just be a competition of ideas and visions for the future, gets turned into just one big circus. Candidates attacking each other with cheap shots, social media digs, and rehearsed sound bites designed more to go viral than to convey any real type of substance or to just help the people. Instead of thoughtful debates about policies, we're treated to performances like a reality TV show. It's no wonder that some of the people are delusioned or turned off by the whole process. There's a lot of people I know say they don't even want to deal with it. You're watching this whole campaign through more like a Saturday Night Live comedy sketch. And other countries I know are looking at us with how seriously you're taking your own elections. It's quite embarrassing, to be honest with you. I have friends and family in other countries, and they just shaking their head or can't help but to imagine how strange it must look from outsider's perspective. Many countries follow the United States to a high standard, as a global leader and whatnot. But what do we see here? The election process that has endless ads, outlandish promises, and candidates just behaving like kids. And there's more one than the other, and you know what we're talking about. I don't even have to mention the guy's name. Maybe they see our political system as a joke, or at the very least, a spectacle. The serious issues get buried under the personalities. And let's talk about promises. Every candidate seems to have this magical vision of what they'll do if they get elected. They have their policies. Some don't have policies, but the policies sound fantastic, but they're rarely grounded in reality. It's a cycle of over-promising and under-delivering. That's at least how I look at it. It's the same delusion every single time. But some people give me more than some, but when was the last time you saw a politician deliver everything in comments? And I know that's not realistic thinking that someone's going to do all that, because it's two chain of commands on everything, but it's designed to disappoint us at the end of the day. At every election, there's big promises and barely any follow through. It's a political strategy. And so that's why a lot of people just turn out the politics in the first place and say go vote. See, that's why I would never get into politics myself. Because honestly, most people at even a workplace can't even agree on something simple as a pizza order, and all their coworkers, they'll be in there fighting and trying to go at each other. They'll be like, "No, I want Papa John's. No, I want this place. I want Domino's. I want Pizza Hut." And these are things that impact millions of people, but just something simple as ordering food at work, you can't agree on. So how are we supposed to compromise and see things at a different place as a country? It really just doesn't work at the end of the day. I know that's a false equivalency comparing pizza to politics, but it just shows that people just can't agree on nothing, and there's no room for collaboration. And who would want to be a part of that? I don't. The presidential election should be a time for a meaningful change, people selecting leaders, a genuine change, people who actually is not going to be corrupt and try to make the country better. But instead, we're left with frustrating, exhausting, downright just embarrassing acts, and just making it a whole spectacle at this point. And in the end, I'm a voter, hoping that someday the process can get a little bit more dignified and people can really fight for what really matters. So we get to a point where the elections are just performative and just a big performance, but a path to real solutions. So let's talk about this, a path to real solutions. And another rant I have, let's talk about Trump. I know it's very polarizing, but it never really had any detailed policies, at least from what I see. It's more about slogans, spectacles. During his time as president, he rarely outlined clear accountability or just real policies, unless it was just like something like build a wall, but nothing that's real. It's a lot of grandstanding, divisiveness, a lot of things that come on the headline. And let's be honest, crisis, especially mishandling a major crisis like COVID-19, it left a lot to be desired. He saw a lack of directions, downplaying, and on the virus, he was saying it wasn't even real at first. It cost a lot of people lives, but for some reason, people try to rewrite history to say like he had the best time or it was the golden age, and he was president of America. And the country was about the same or probably worse. That's how I think when he was in office. And I know a lot of the MAGA people would, say otherwise, but let's just be honest, it wasn't like times were better on set. It's been more of an illusion of success, but for many Americans, their daily life really didn't improve. They might have got a little bit more money, but when you're playing things were great under Trump, I really can't get down with that. It makes me wonder if the people just have selective memory, or they just want to like him just because, or they just very stubborn. But I mean, everyone knows that when you're president, you inherit a country and its economic crisis. So when Trump left the office, clearly Biden had to inherit some of his missteps and some of the things and his economic strain. So you live off the decisions of the last person. So it's kind of challenging when people say that Trump was a golden era and it was so great because he gave us checks and other things like that. And everyone knows that those checks were from the Democratic side. And then there's Kamala Harris. If she wins, she'll be the first female black president. I don't care what y'all talking about. She's black to me. It is what it is. But she's been getting a lot of baseless, sexist allegations saying that she slept her way to the top. And those things are kind of biased. I mean, the workplace, we see it happen all the time. But they say that women sink their way to the top, which is unfair scrutiny, but it is what it is. And let's say if those allegations were true, I've seen plenty of women that begin to sleep their way to a free meal. So let alone a political career, Kamala has earned her place. Because if it was that easy, every woman would sleep their way to the top. It's not just, oh, I sleep with this person, I get a job. Nah, don't worry like that. We wouldn't have people in the streets who would have, people on the stroll, women on the stroll. And Trump himself dodged the second debate, and people were trying to get on her, Kamala Harris, about not going to Joe Rogan. And it's like she wanted to debate him one-on-one, but just because she didn't go on a podcast, and people was trying to scrutinize her. And to me, it is just false equivalency. It's like Trump can literally dodge presidential debate against his opponent, basically like a fight. But just because he went on another platform, but then it's like, oh, since you didn't go on this platform, but then she's scared because she don't want to go on Joe Rogan. It's like, who's Joe Rogan? He's cool and all, but it's like, yeah, he ain't nobody like that she has to go on this show. And it's like, nah, we want you to do a debate. But you're clearly scared. Out of some of the people they bring on there and some of the things they think about black people, and I just can't get down with it, to be honest with you. It'd be low-key, a little racist, but then he has some other people on there as well, too. It don't seem so racist, but I know people say that his platform is something that's just like, oh, I just let people talk. But yeah, that's cool, but when you're not just very disrespectful towards a group of people, then it's like, hey, man, chill, bro. So for him, sometimes I don't really know where he stands, to be honest with you. He just kind of goes with the wind, or how do you feel at the day. But next time he just talked about this MAGA thing, it's getting kind of dangerous, not a lot. At first, I thought the movement was like a joke. In the first heard it was like, make America great again, and yeah. It was just something that was just really funny. But it's gone way far beyond a thing to like a thing. It's further than just a political group or a political support. They like a gang at this point. It has intensity, blind loyalty, and just kind of remind me of a cult. Not gonna lie to you. You look at some of these rallies and see just these people outside, and it's just like, yeah, he can kill my wife, he can kill my family, and I'll still love him. They have just unwillingly and unwavering support to him under any circumstance. And that's just scary to me, to be honest with you. I don't care who you are, if you're a candidate or not. If you do something to my family, hey, we got to ride on you. So it's almost like they worship him at this point. It's like they putting him above God. Some of these people say that they worship God and they, God's people, but I see that they worship God, Trump more than God, to be honest with you. And that's very dangerous. I know that he has money and they look at him like, oh, he's a good businessman. But honestly, to me, he's not a great businessman to a certain extent. It's really dangerous to have blind loyalty to anyone. The last time we saw this kind of intense, single-minded, devotion to just a leader. Yes, probably the last time was the Nazis, man, Nazi Germany. And I ain't trying to say he's Hitler or anything like that, but I see a lot of parallels, to be honest with you. I don't know if he could run for president again, but he might. It took Hitler a long time to get into power, so he just kept trying and kept galvanizing people over the years. Trump and Hitler has a lot of parallels in terms of the loyalty and the leader, turning people against each other, just being very radical in some of the ways that they're thinking, not thinking rational. And it's very alarming. I know people looking at it like, oh, those things can happen again. But it's like, who's saying that Trump can't make America Germany? Well, no. I mean, he's already saying things about the immunity for the police and letting them do the things they want to. And you know, this is just very alarming things. And people think that it's cool until it actually happens to them. You think the police means immunity until they at your doorstep and then you're in the way. It's like he created like this type of this belief system that it just doesn't make sense and it's not really rational. So these supporters of the MAGA, I know y'all never like me talking about this on this video, but just be mindful that some of the people that you think that's on your side, he don't like you either. You can't go to this dinner table and be around him and don't look at you as an equal. So if you're disposable and you're not on his side, you definitely using money over you because he's someone who's literally for himself more so than the people or the people that support him. And yeah, I kind of touched on it before, but let me talk about this police immunity and the potential it has to be abused. People already have a lot of power. So something that Trump and the far right often defend it, at least immunity. And it might seem like it's a good idea at first, but it seems like it's a good idea until you consider what it actually means. It means getting the officer ability to act without fear of repercussions on the things that they do. There are cases where officers are in dangerous situations and they need to act accordingly. But when you give them unchecked power, it's only a matter of time before it gets abused. Everyone's going to do with immunity. People think police immunity wouldn't affect them, but what happens when the tables turn? When the police or any authority goes unchecked and power just throughout time, we all see many examples they want to turn on you. It is what it is. And think that they're going to be for you until you get in their way. So it can flip really fast. And my final thoughts. The choice between two flawed candidates. So here we are in another exhausting election cycle, choosing between two flawed candidates. On one side, you have Trump. He's polarizing, off the records with his words, and always want to be the center for attention, want to go viral for his clicks and whatever, clickbait, has a very cultish fan base. And on the other side, you have Kamala Harris. So they say she's stick the way to the top. Apparently, she's not black. And she views middle class and saying she's middle class to her advantage. People think that she has a lot of talking points that she keeps repeating. And we really don't know the country is in it. It really feels like we just stuck in a popularity contest. Really turned off from the whole situation, and be honest with you. I'm not saying not go vote, because clearly one side is better than the other side, or whoever you think is the better side. You should go vote for whatever it is. But honestly, I think that we should all maybe find someone else outside of the system. And I know it's hard to do that because it's a two-party system, but I think we need to, mix things up a little bit. And I ain't saying not to go vote. You go vote. But these are just my opinions. And I'm not saying not to go vote. These are just my opinions and the thoughts that I had on the election. It's very exhausting. I mean, a lot of people just don't even want to pay attention to politics because it's just people just trying to go viral and trying to go on your timeline and clickbait. It's a lot of ads, talking down on people, whatever it is. But I mean, I pray that the country goes in the best way. Well, they ain't supposed to win. That's God's plan. So just remember, it was just my opinion. Don't get mad if I say something that you don't like. If you do, say it in the comments. But it is what it is. It's from Just Say Anything. Check it out.
Just Say Anything. Like, share, and subscribe.
You're not
not just saying that.
I never just say anything.